If you've been wondering what's happening in the Silicon Valley real estate market, well, buckle up, because the October 2025 numbers are in, and much like your favorite line at Phil's Coffee, they are long, slightly confusing, and somehow still way overpriced. I'm Seb Frey, seasoned living strategist, here with your Silicon Valley real estate update for all you longtime Bay Area homeowners, where the data is real, the humor is questionable, and the home prices are still higher than my blood pressure after watching the evening news. So speaking of news, let's start with a headline that nobody asked for, but everybody secretly wants to know. Yes, the market is still strong. Now, not multiple offers from 7 VC firms strong, but solid, steady, and annoyingly resilient kind of strong. October clocked in with 766 homes sold, which is up just over 7% from September and almost exactly 1% higher than this time last year. And if you're thinking, wow, 1%, well, don't worry, that's basically breakneck growth by Silicon Valley standards, where the only real spikes we see these days are on layoff numbers and your heart rate when you see that email from Human Resources. Now, what about the number of homes for sale? October saw 876 active listings, which is up 16% from the month before. Now, this is the part of the movie where sellers start poking their heads out like caffeinated meerkats, thinking, is now a good time? Still, a 5.5% bump from the inventory numbers last year means we're moving in the direction we like. Slightly, very slightly toward normalcy, or at least as normal as Silicon Valley ever gets, which is still basically abnormal everywhere else. Homes under contract landed at 734, just a smidge, that is 0.7%, above September, but down 11% from last year. Translation, buyers are still buying, just more selectively. They've moved from, I will offer everything I own, including certain body parts I'd really like to keep, to more of a, well, let's see if it's still on the market when we come back from the family trip to the old country approach. It's a sign of a calmer fall season, not a collapsing market. The real star of the show, as always, is the median sold price, holding strong at $1.91 million. That's up just over 2% from last month, and the same 2% from this time a year ago. The consistency is impressive, really. If home prices were a student, they'd be the kid who always turns in assignments early and reminds the teacher they forgot to assign homework. Nobody really likes that kid very much, but you can't argue with the results. Oh, the median home price per square foot? Well, that came in at $1,100, up almost 2% from last month and around 1% increase from last year. So yeah, every square foot of your house is still basically worth a new laptop. But hey, when adjusting for inflation, you can see that really pricing is treading water at best. Now, let's talk about speed. Homes took a bit longer to sell this October, with a median 14 days on market, up a hearty 27% from last month and 40% from last year. But before you panic, oh no, is the market slowing? Remember that in the real world, 2 weeks is fast. In Silicon Valley, though, 2 weeks is practically glacial. It's like the real estate equivalent of watching a progress bar stall at 99%. But a little more breathing room is actually healthy. Buyers can think for more than 8 minutes before writing an offer, which is progress for all of us. Inventory also nudged upward to 1.1 months, a 22% increase from September. So yes, we technically have more inventory, but this is like saying you had a second almond for dinner. It's more, but it's still not a meal. Or in this case, still not a balanced market. Sellers continue to have the upper hand, but now buyers at least get to pretend they have some choices. And finally, the sale to list price ratio held steady at 102%, meaning most homes still sell for over asking price. Now, not dramatically over asking price, just enough to remind everyone that this is Silicon Valley and hope is a dangerous emotion. So, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us in a familiar autumn rhythm. Prices are holding firm, inventory loosening just a tad, days on market is ticking up, and buyer demand is cooling without actually going cold. It's like the market put on a light sweater and said, I'm seasonal, but I'm not doing anything radical. The overall tone is stable, seller leaning, and still highly competitive for the good stuff. If summer was a sprint, fall is a brisk walk with occasional jogging. Still fast enough to make you breathe hard, but not enough to make you collapse. The bottom line is that the market is still in great shape, and if you've owned your home in Silicon Valley for 20, 30, 40 years or more, you are sitting on a ton of appreciation. Now, you may be wondering how to get that appreciation out of your home in the most profitable, tax-efficient way, and that is where I come in. As a seasoned living strategist, I help longtime Bay Area homeowners optimize their living situation such that they position themselves for a high-quality life over the long term, either in their current home or another across town or across the country. If you're looking to put more life into your years, don't hesitate to reach out. My phone number is 408-596-1623. I'd love to talk to you and find out how I can help you make your next move the best one yet.